Like I tell people today, I use English. English is not my language. It's the language that I've known based on ancestral situations that I find myself in. But now I know how to shift it, and I'm also trying to learn my mother tongue a little bit more. Although, man, certain words, boy, my tongue is like, Moses, they say he was stuttering, but I'm of the persuasion it wasn't necessarily that he was stuttering, but he didn't know the language because he had been stuck in a different culture for so long, right? So once you've been stuck in a culture for so long and you try to come back in, there's some acclimation, rehabilitation that has to happen. It's the same case in point with a lion. Is a lion able to be in the zoo where food has been given to it over and over again, be able to survive in the wild if it's dropped off in the wild after being 20 years in the zoo? Possibly not. But if you put it with its pride, I bet you they'll have a better chance of reacclimating him. So that's what we're doing. That's what has been done to me. Reconnecting with the people in the garden or in Africa and them teaching me the cultural values, teaching me how to understand it. So now I can come back to the quote unquote African American and say, hey, look, let's go to Africa. Now, if someone say, hey, African American brother, let's go to Africa, they're going to be like, man,
what that Bama talking about?
Yeah, what you talking about? I ain't no African.
Ain't no shot.
Because of the divisiveness that came from colonization versus slavery, which are two different concepts that juxtaposition each other, which divides and conquers itself. Because one group thinks they are somebody, another group is never good enough to be somebody.
Right.
I.e., enslavement, you're never good enough. Like we said in the previous podcast, that's why you always want to be the first African to do this or the first American to do this or da-da-da-da-da. But here in colonization, Anglophone, Francophone, you speak English. If you don't speak English good, then you are not literate. One kid said, this guy, I have to go and talk to him because he's not literate. I'm like, can he not read? Does he read his normal language? Does he speak his mother tongue? Yes, he can read. So he's not illiterate. He just can't speak English.
Right. Different perspective. That's so true.
As funny as that sound, but those are the narratives that are taught that the fine print underneath it is causing deeper levels of dysfunction and brokenness because of you saying this person is not literate, but I bet you a huge percentage of them do read and write their mother tongue, but they may not speak Western languages, so you consider them to be uneducated, illiterate. But Afro peoples have been living for thousands upon thousands, even some say millions of years, without ever having capitalism or colonization or any of those things. They were surviving on their own. How are they not able to survive now?